Hello and welcome to another tier list of Hidden and Dangerous 2. This time I'll be looking at the levels of the game, and this one I will be including Saber Squadron 2. Now, what I've done is I have broken it up into difficulty tiers. I didn't want to do for fun because obviously fun's kind of subjective, but over the course of trying to do it on very hard across Carnage and non-Carnage, I kind of have a feel about what are the hardest missions. And so I've actually recorded this before, but I didn't like the outcome because I spent so long trying to think about what I like, well, what is hard about the level. So this way, I've got a reference screenshot of the final outcome, but I still want to explain my reasoning because it's kind of fun. It was a really fun project actually, a rewarding project. Not so much fun sometimes. Sometimes it was so frustrating, but the outcome was good. I like the outcome, which was all the content I got. Yeah, so going ahead, so what I've done is I've got all the levels here in chronological order. So this is what you'd experience in the campaign. And I guess let's get right into it. So what I've done is I've actually got all the maps for a reference. So in this case, Snow 1's not obvious. But I've got the map here as a reference, so it's a bit more of a visual indicator to remember what exactly happened. So we go into the first one, and so for Snow 1, this is obviously the first mission. That's not the training, I suppose. So I've got this one B, hard tier. Oh, I'll explain the difficulty as well. So obviously I've named them after the game's difficulty levels, and I got this extra one called Nightmare, which is for... So this is probably 50 attempts. I'm not even joking. 50 restarts. This is probably 30. This is maybe 10. Normal's I don't know, 1 or 2, and then easy's probably none. That's sort of how I've divided it up. Yeah. So anyway, so Snow 1, it's kind of hard. It's more the length because you have to go to not Trubinsky, the guide. I forget the guide's name, but you have to meet up with a guide. So it just elongates the mission. Basically, how I find the difficulty ranks in this game, and again, this is with very hard in mind. It's based on the length of the mission is a huge factor. So because so much of the time is spent just walking to get to the actual firefights at the very end, and to restart at the end is just a pain. And it's really boring too, which is probably the biggest biggest issue. So I sort of stick this one here. Snow 1's a classic hard, middle of the range, fairly difficult, but also not that difficult. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, so next one I've got is Snow 2. So that's when you're in the bunker, or the research facility, I should say. So this one's probably very hard, mostly around the Carnage difficulty. So this one, Snow 1, for the Carnage, it's just trying to find the enemies is the hard part. Whoops, that's wrong. That's wrong one. I just had to see if I was recording or not. And then Snow 2, it really kicks up. So in the normal difficulty, if you're playing out a really good route, you can avoid most firefights, and it's not too bad. But for Carnage, you're forced to, and it's insane, man. Yeah, the enemies... There's a particular area right downstairs when you take the first photograph of the aerodynamic tunnel, and the enemies will spawn the moment you take the photo, I believe. And there's 6 guys, and it's really hard to actually kill them all. But yeah, so no, so that one's sitting in the very hard category. So Snow 3 is so funny, man. So Snow 3 is insane. It's just complete bonkers. So on normal difficulty, you can cheese it. So this is the map here. So this is mission 1, this is mission 2, which is just a blank canvas. And then mission 3, you're here. Now, because I cut across through the swamp, I avoid 90% of the firefights. But when I was doing it on Carnage, no joke, this was the hardest mission to do on Carnage. The enemies are so spread out. It's such a long mission, and you have to escort someone on top. It was just insane. So I spent, no joke, over 50 attempts, I think, trying to get this one done. I did it with only 3 guys, which in hindsight was a really bad idea. But even with 3 guys, I had a uniform, and I still struggled massively trying to do this. yeah, it was just pure frustration. It was an awful mission. But next one is Snow 4, and this one is like the opposite, where it's really easy. So Snow 4 is the iceberg with the research facility in the submarine. So if you take the north route, it's pretty easy because you've got great cover of this little overhang here. The other two routes are terrible, but the only difficulty, honestly, comes from the submarine. Yeah, which if you throw a grenade down the submarine, you can clear out. Because what happens is the guys will camp the ladder sometimes, and if they camp the ladder, you have to throw a grenade. But because the game doesn't give you that many grenades, that could be a problem. But if you keep that in mind, it's not too bad. All right, so next one is the Desert One. Desert One, honestly, it does sit in the very hard category. It's a long mission, but honestly, the difficulty spike comes from the stupid documents. If the documents didn't spawn, then it'd be maybe even here, to be honest, because you can fight at long range easily. It really helps. So the enemy, like the AI, is really bad at fighting at long range, and you can abuse that with the Springfield optics. But because the optics don't spawn, because the documents don't always spawn, you have to forcibly get in close just to see if they do. And you end up restarting the mission so many times. It's just such a lame mission, to be honest. But going on to the next mission. Oh, sorry, I should have shown. I keep forgetting. So this is Spaghetti Airfield, basically. It's a one where you have to you find the officer, and then the reinforcements come from the north and all that kind of thing. All right, so next one is the one we have to go to the desert with either the Jeep or the flak vehicle. Now, I always take the flak vehicle because you get the super long range with the flak gun. But this one sits in hard. There's only one issue, which is the tank. So the tank is the biggest problem by far. If it weren't for the tank, this mission would be like easily in normal. But anyway, so we'll stick it hard. It's not that it's at the start, which means it's very easy to restart if it goes badly. And then it's fairly straightforward from there. And then it's really not much of a difference between Carnage and non-Carnage. So next mission is Desert 3. Now this one I have comfortably in the very hard. It's really the start that's tricky. Oh, and also when you have to enter the fort, because your AI teammates are so terrible in close quarters. They'll just die all the time, so you have to go solo, which is kind of lame. Yeah, there's really not much to say about this thing. You got to pick a good route. Oh, sorry, I forgot the map. So if you go to the south side, it's just no cover and you die. If you go to the east route, there's these ruins here that have really good cover. So you can pick off the guys at the edges, and then you can work your way in from the northeast side, and then work from there. Now the next one is Desert 4, which it's literally the exact same map. It's Desert 4 here. So this one is sitting very much in the normal tier. If you bring explosives, so because I know the mission, I know I have to bring explosives for the tank, and so for Desert 3, there's literally no difference between Carnage and non-Carnage. But for Desert 4, the only real difference is you have to kill 2 tanks instead of 1. And if you save both explosives for this mission, then it's fine. Because the tank has bad visibility, you can just run up and plant them in, no problem. And then your AI teammates are so good on the machine gun for some reason. They can spot the enemy from way too far out. Like, I think it's legitimately a bug that they can see that far, because they just kill all the dudes, which makes it really trivial. It sort of ruins the mission in like the vibe of the mission, because the vibe of the mission is, you're defending this fort from like this massive assault, and then in theory you'd cover all these different access points, etc., etc. But what ends up happening is you just sit the machine gun and kill everyone from like 200 meters away, which is really silly. Yeah. And then next one is Desert 5. So Desert 5 is the you spawn down here, and then you're supposed to capture the officer guy and take off in the plane. But because you get a free uniform and you get a free tank. So this is just one of the easiest missions by far. On Carnage, it's a pain because you have to drive around the place, but because you got the uniform, it's pretty easy. And then Desert 6, there is actually a map for this, funnily enough, but it's the easiest mission in the game because it's a rail shooter. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so next one is Norway. So Norway is, oh, and by the way I've got it structured, it reads left to right. So left being hardest, right being easiest. So in this case, Desert 5 is easier than, sorry, Desert 5 is harder than Desert 6. Anyway, what did I say? Norway. Yeah, so Norway, again, really easy mission. It's just the length of time. You plant the explosives and then you climb aboard the ship and you only have to deal with like 4 or 5 guys. And even on Carnage, like, that is not much of a threat. You just rock silence weapons and it's pretty easy. Going on to the next one is Burma. So Burma, I put in. Okay, this tier. Yeah, so Burma's easy due to the enemies. The enemies have bad damage or accuracy. I'm not sure exactly what. But on normal, it's very easy because you can avoid most firefights. It's a bit harder on Carnage, but again, because the AI is not great. When I say AI, I mean the enemy AI. It's pretty easy. The only real problem, let me show the map. So there's Norway, which is whatever. That's when you bomb the battleship, by the way. But this one, yeah, so Burma 1. The only issue is the Japanese village, or Burmese village, I suppose. Yeah, they just attack you from weird angles, and so you can end up losing 1 or 2 guys potentially. But overall, it's not too bad. Plus, all these X markers, it's basically telling you this is where the enemy is. So on Carnage, you're not having to spend all that time running around trying to find them, which is super nice. So next one we have is Burma 2, which is that's when you assault the hill fort. And this one is quite difficult, both on Carnage and non-Carnage. So on normal mode, you're forced to clear the bunker area. And if you don't have enough grenades, it's a pain. Oh, and then the grass, that's right. So the grass and the fog on this land are by far the worst enemy because the enemy can see you, but you can't see them. What I end up doing is working up the left side and then using the tank as support because the tank will be able to kill the Japs and then your AI teammates can also kill them. And then in case they do fire back, then you should be able to use heals to offset the damage. And then once you're in the fort area, it's just a matter of clearing it out. Like another issue is the stupid random artillery that comes in. I lost on the run I recorded, I lost 3 guys to artillery, which is just absurd. But fortunately, it's the last mission of the series, so long as you finish that, then you know everything's done and you can just continue on, which is what I ended up doing. I didn't want to restart it. Anyway, and then on Carnage, it's just such a long mission because you gotta like go up, clear this area, sweep around the top edge, and then come back down again. It's just annoying. So Castle 1 is Babe in the Woods is a proper name, but I always remember this name because of the stupid uniform you need to get. But because you are forced to get the uniform super early, it actually makes it quite an easy mission. So it's still hard because of the uniform, but the actual like raw difficulty isn't that bad. The enemies, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward mission. It would be a fun mission if it weren't for the uniform, I think. And the next one is Castle 2. So Castle 2, I put in. Where did I put it? I did put it here, okay. Similar, it's similar in difficulty. The biggest issue is the start because you have to hand the documents. It just really drags out the mission. On non-Carnage, it's fairly easy, I would say. So long as you know the route. What I did is I practiced in hard to get the route down and then just executed the route in very hard. But on Carnage, there's that bug where the guy doesn't spawn properly. You have to shoot him through the floor, which is kind of weird. Yeah, but it's just about abusing the camera, essentially, and just trying to make sure you take good engagements. All right, so Overlord 1. I keep forgetting to show off. This is the castle, if that makes sense. All right, next one. This is the one we have to infiltrate. I called it Overlord 1 because it's called Overlord in the game itself. But Overlord 1, so this one, it's sort of weird, right? So it's tricky in the sense that it's a really long mission, but I find a lot of the enemies just aren't alerted, especially if you use the silence gun. because you can work your way around the edges of the fort. In normal mode, it's actually quite a nice mission, I think, because you can pick and choose your difficulty in a way. But in Carnage, because you're forced to go throughout the entire castle, it's just a real drag, massive drag. Yeah, like it really highlights just how bad Carnage is as a game mode, to be honest, because it's just unnecessarily like like an Easter egg hunt in a way. You're trying to find the Germans instead of Easter eggs. Yeah, but it's pretty straightforward, like close ranges, so you can use the bar to basically one hit kill. And as long as you know where stuff is, it's just going about executing it. And the Overlord 2, so Overlord 2 is actually quite nasty, to be honest. Very much in the very hard. The enemies, they definitely get an accuracy boost from this point onwards. So all the rest of the missions, they have I think like the massive boost in accuracy. And it's the most scripted mission of the base game, like vanilla, I guess you call it. Like non-Saber Squadron. And they're just in like super awkward hidey holes. Like it feels really gimmicky, to be honest, the way that they've set up the enemies. But I think I pretty much always lose at least one guy in this mission. But because it's at the end, I don't like, so long as I survive with one guy, then I'm okay with it. Yeah, so I'll leave this one here. So check one, man, this mission. This is another crazy mission. So on non-Carnage, I spent a long time trying to understand the route. Again, sorry, I keep forgetting. So Normandy, this is the one where you go to the, you fight your way through the town, I guess. And then as you come in, the tank comes through and then you can blow up the tank. And then your reinforcements come in and win. This is the check one. So check one is where you have to get the Trubinsky guy. And it's the like pseudo stealth mission, and I say pseudo stealth is you just can't really stealth it per se. I was thinking about the other day because there's this guy patrolling here. The moment you kill him, the reinforcements come in. Maybe if you kill him and just sprint, maybe that'll work. The alternative is you can literally just die, and if all your squad mates are here, then you auto complete the mission. But I wanted to try it without doing that. But it's the Carnage one, but that is just brutal. Absolutely brutal on Carnage. I tried for so long. I tried so many different strategies, but the one that worked is basically camping at this tree and just sniping them. But it's such a long mission, and then it's so hard to find the enemies because they're hidden in the shadows. So your AI teammates can't spot them because they're hidden and they're not moving. Then you struggle to spot them because they have grey uniforms in the dark. Plus, like, there's long grass, you got the fences, there's so much working against you to do this mission. What ended up happening is, you'll see in my Carnage run, I lost everyone except one guy, and that was acceptable to me. I'm like, I don't care, because I know at the check 4 mission, you get reinforcements, and the next two I could handle fairly easy, essentially lone wolf. Whoops. Yeah, this mission sucks. It absolutely sucks. All right, next one is check 2. So check 2, it is fairly difficult, but it's not crazy. It's pretty comfortably, yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, there's not much to say about it, to be honest. It's a solid mission, and you get different weapons like the MP44, which is nice. It's also very different because the train carriage, so it really breaks up how the gunfighting works, and yeah, it's kind of fun. Now, where did check 3 go? Oh, it's here. Okay, check 3. Yeah, I lost it. So check 3 is in the normal category. So again, check 3 is pretty easy, to be honest. In fact, Castle 2 is supposed to be here. Oh no, it's not. It's supposed to be here. And this guy, sorry. Yeah, check 3 is here. It's mostly the start. The start's really hard. Because again, the grass. If we went for the grass, it wouldn't be too bad. But Carnage and non-Carnage are exact same because you have to kill everyone on the map anyway. What do I say about this? The enemy accuracy is really high, so if they shoot you generally die straight away. But AI bugs out, and I keep forgetting. So this is the train, so we skip that one. This is the check 3, which is the, I forget what it's called properly, but it's one where you take the officer guy into the manor here. Yeah, basically from about this point on up to this whole area here, the enemy just freezes, which is, I think it's a bug, honestly, because there's quite a few bugs in this game. Another one being this truck that comes up here. Sometimes the truck gets stuck in the tunnel, which is kind of hilarious. And you just grenade it and it blows up. Yeah, so if it went for that, it'd be a much harder mission. Yeah, anyway. Moving on, so check 4. Check 4 is this giant village, which is just painful. The mission, like the enemies aren't that bad because you can take most engagements at range. And once you realize that, the mission's actually fairly straightforward. It's just knowing where the enemies spawn that's a problem. The two real pain points are this area here, where there's 4 guys that, depending on which entrance you use, if you come in this way, they attack this way. If you come up the road, then they come up the road and attack you. So these guys are a pain, and then these guys here that run out are a massive pain. And then on other street, because Carnage and non-Carnage are the same, because the mission requirements are to kill everyone. There's a guy here, for some reason, will just completely run either this way, and then basically what they do is they just run towards this building. I don't know why. So I found is you just leave a guy here, and then you can kill him as he comes in. But the mission itself, where did I put it? Check 4. It is not a fun mission. But yeah, we got it stuck up here. I think I put it. It's easier than Overlord 2. But it's harder than the snow one for sure. The snow one's like, it's like just and very hard, and that's due to Carnage. So next one is check 5. So that's when you capture the town, and again, exact same map, but it's at nighttime, and then the reinforcements come from this direction. And this one is, honestly, it's pretty straightforward. It's still hard, but it's in the easier category of hard. And that's because you can use the anti-tank mines to blow up the tank, and then use the half track to run over everyone. If it weren't for the half track, it'd probably sit in very hard, to be honest, because you're forced to take so many nighttime engagements, and nighttime engagements are always awful. But yeah, it's okay. So next one, so check 6. This one it's pretty easy, to be honest. Again, you get a free tank. It's the Panther. So once the Panther clears the whole map, except for the bunker, and then the bunker, kind of annoying sometimes, but again, it's the last mission, so you don't care if you lose all but one guy. And then the Russians that attack just aren't threatening at all. You got the machine guns, and then the only pain is the stupid Su-122 at the end, which is just, it takes like 4 Panzerfaust shots for some reason to kill. But yeah. Whoops. So it's like hard. It's on the harder end of these 3. Like these 3 are really quite easy, but check 6 is, it's not that bad. Okay, so next one, now we're on to Saber Squadron. So for Saber Squadron maps, so Dead Fish. Now I haven't done this on Carnage. I'm sorry, I haven't done it on very hard Carnage. I also haven't done these very hard. I've done some on very hard. So I've done Dead Fish regular campaign on very hard. I keep forgetting. So this is check 6, sorry. So check 6 is the bunker that you have to assault. And then Dead Fish is this map here, where you have to blow up the storage tanks, plant the beacon, and then blow up the submarines. So Dead Fish, it's definitely in very hard. And that's due to the massive map, such a massive map. Also the fact that this door doesn't work. It should, even though there's an arrow pointing saying this door works. They've put the texture there, but it's not interactable. So the only door you can actually enter in from is here and here. And you can only enter in from here if you cheese it, which is what I do, where you can literally climb over the wall by basically glitching out. And it speeds up the map like dramatically, because otherwise you have to come in here, steal the key from one of these guys, enter in here, and then run around. It's just such a pain. Whereas if you can just, jump over the wall and then plant the stuff and run off, it's just nice and easy. Plus, what you can do, I found out, is if you plant the explosives, basically, so you plant the explosives here, plant the beacon, and then if you can get in here with like one guy, and then plant the submarines, it's the same issue with the first check mission where if you just die, you complete the mission. Because if you leave all your guys here, if one guy manages to complete like blowing up the submarines, then you just automatically win, which is super nice. So yeah, you can skip it that way if it's just not fun. So next one is Heat 1. Yes, very much in the insane category. This is the one where you have to rescue the 2 prisoners and bring them back. Now this mission is, I think, the worst mission in the game, to be honest, in terms of like fun. There's just so much that goes wrong here. So you've got the lookouts on here who can shoot you in the back as you run up the road. Then as you're running up the road, if you do start doing shooting, you get random guys that spawn in from the side occasionally, plus these guys that run in towards a prison. Then once you come inside here and you trigger, like you rescue the prisoners, there's a whole series of actions that occur that just make this game just fundamentally unfun. Now, you have guys that spawn inside the prison. You will have a guy on the top floor, because again, when I was trying this on very hard, I was trying all these different strategies, but I found that there's this door that's unlocked when you first go in, but when you rescue the prisoners, the door magically locks, and then what's supposed to happen is the guy is scripted to unlock it, but you can kill the guy who's scripted to unlock it before he unlocks it, and the door never opens, which is absurd. And then it spawns, like, no joke, like 20 guys to run in. Like, they split up, so like some run in from this direction, some run in from the east. And then you got the tank that spawns, it like just pops into existence. There's just so much that is so bad about this mission. I haven't uploaded it because I just didn't like it. But I've done it on very hard, and I just did not enjoy it at all. It's such a terrible mission. But yeah, so I haven't attempted on Carnage. Oh no, I did. I did it Carnage on hard, and it was just such a drag, massive drag. It's just a terrible mission, honestly. But yeah, so it very much sits in the nightmare. To do this like Carnage, Carnage very hard is. I think you just end up camping in the prison, kill all the guys, and then just go out. And the mission will be like 40 minutes long. It's just not fun. Okay, so next one, Heat 2. Heat 2 is when you start here, and then you have to go through the canyon to the end. And there's like a dead tank here, and a tank comes around, and there's like partisans on the canyon, all that kind of thing. So this mission's not that bad, honestly. So I had it at, where's Heat 2? It is okay. It is here. Put it into very hard. I think because it's a long mission, and it's this tank so you got this this valley here, and there's a tank that sits here, and the only way to kill it is through bazookas or the Panzerschreck. There's no, like, you can't carry explosives into the game. So normally what I would do is drive a Jeep up to the tank, plant explosive, and just let it die. But because you don't get explosives, you can't do that. And bazookas in this game are just too inaccurate to use properly. And the tank just auto kills you if you hit them with the tank. I hit him with like a bazooka round. So on normal mode, what I did is I just drove past it, which is kind of a bit silly. But on Carnage, you can't do that, so you have to kill a tank, which is just stupid. Otherwise, the mission's like, it's okay. It's just a really long mission, which is what makes it more difficult. And honestly, that's what makes pretty much all the Saber Squadron missions harder, is because they're just longer. Okay, going to the next one is Heat 3. And then Heat 3 is, so this one I put in the normal case, yeah. It's not too bad. I don't know, maybe Desert 4 really is an easy mission, to be honest. Yeah, so with Heat 3, this is the one where you got to blow up this, and then they find out that you have to blow up the next section somewhere in the town. But because you can fight them at extreme ranges, it sort of makes the mission quite easy. AI can't shoot you back. You can shoot them, easy win. The only issue is there's like a AA truck over here, which will instantly kill you if you're not careful. But if you kill, you can kill them, but even on normal mode, you can just go around the edge, honestly, and dodge them. But if you kill them, then you get access to the AA truck and you just blast people in the town. It's pretty easy, to be honest. Okay, next one is Husky 1. So Husky this one is very much and very hard. This is the mission where you have to blow up the 3 cannons. It's a bit of an awkward mission. There's fog involved. They put fog in the game here. But it's not too restrictive. It just makes it really hard to spot units. But for some reason they can spot you really easily. Plus there's grass. The grass is always like just a nightmare to deal with. So this I haven't done on Carnage, and I don't want to, because what happens is you blow up these 3 things, right? And then 2 tanks drive in. And again, you don't get access to explosives. So the only way to kill the tanks is with bazookas, which is, again, death sentence. No, thank you. And there's just no cover. It's so bad, man. It's such a... I don't know why. It's like all the Saber Squadron missions, there's like glimmers of hope that this is going to be a fun mission. And then they just put in things that just make it completely unfun. In this case, it's these 2 tanks. So what I found is on normal, I don't engage the tanks. I just run around the very edge of the map. You can either go at this very edge or this very edge, like the cliff faces, and then you just like, the exit point would be somewhere around here, and you just run to the exit point and don't shoot at anyone. So you kind of like avoid the mission that way. But otherwise, I found it's so funny. Like the easiest way to do this mission is just to beeline it to gun 3, which is open, like the door's open, and then just blow them up that way. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so Husky 2. This one is, again, really hard mission, actually. And again, due to length, mostly due to the length, there's just so many enemies. So Husky 2, that's the one, that's actually the demo. So this is the Saber Squadron demo, where they have the giant bridge. And then initially they're like, oh, I think you have to blow up the bridge. And then when you get in the mission, they're like, oh, actually, lol, JK, we don't want to blow up the bridge, we want to save the bridge. So you're like, oh, okay. And you have to disarm the explosives. Yeah, so this one, again, like on paper, it's like really cool because it's supposed to be this like epic set piece battle, but the AI teammates are just terrible. And then when the reinforcements come in, so basically there's a guy that sits here next to a TNT plunger. So when you kill him, that's what triggers the reinforcements. And it's just the 8, like, so there are these 2 Pak-40s that sit either side here. And I think the way that devs have coded the game is you're supposed to use the Pak-40s to kill the tanks, but they haven't given you they haven't given you sights to shoot the tanks. So you're kind of eyeballing it, which is ridiculous because obviously an anti-tank gun that's designed to shoot up to like 2 kilometers away is going to have sights, but in this game they don't. And then I think you have to hit them twice or 3 times in the front, and then twice on the side. So I ended up just using explosives to kill the tanks, which is ridiculous. But I think 2 tanks come in, and then 1 Tiger comes in. But depending on where they stop, you can't shoot them with the anti-tank guns because the anti-tank guns are, for whatever reason, like they've poured concrete on the on the guns, and you can't like traverse them very much. Anyway. It's I could go on so much about these Saber Squadron missions, but yeah, it's a pain. It's a real pain. Anyway, moving on. So next one is Hound 1. Hound 1 is when you spawn split up. There's like a partisan guy. No, not a partisan guy. Some guy you meet up with, I forget who. But then you both join up your squadron, and then you hit the depot, plant the explosives, and run away. Really simple mission. It's the first time you see the GWER 43, I think. Yeah. So that's kind of cool from that sense, but overall it's a pretty easy mission actually. I find that AI is not great. You can snipe at long range, which again, makes it easy mode. Yeah, basically. So next one is Hound 2, and Hound 2, this this one here, and that is when you have to capture the collaborator, I think. And the moment you start the engagement, these guys drive off. So it does sit in that category hard because it's not that easy to actually get the guys. And it's close quarters, and close quarters is always a pain. But it's an okay mission. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. And then Hound 3, this one is not fun. Due to grass, basically. The grass ruins the map. So Hound 3, that is the one where you are supposed to rescue the SAS prisoners, I believe. So for starters, it's really not obvious where they're kept. So you're sort of just like wandering all over the map, just trying to find them. You can use a flare to like trigger these like oil barrels. But I don't think it does anything. I don't know what the point is for it, to be honest. Maybe it's bugged, I'm not sure. Yeah, and the enemies is brutal. Like the enemies just annihilates you if you get shot at all. So it's just not a fun mission, to be honest. So there you go. That's all the missions done. I might shuffle a few of these round. So I had Husky here, Deadfish here. Then Heat was up here. There we go. Let me go Husky 1. Check Desert. Yep, and then Overlord. Yeah, so Castle 2 is worse than Check 3. Hound 2. Then I think this is actually quite an easy mission, to be honest. Even Heat 3. Yeah, we'll say here. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, that was a bit of fun. Yeah, unscripted, so you know how it goes. Sometimes you waffle a bit, but yeah, I don't know. See what you think.